Hi everybody, it's ATX Mom. Well, today I'm going to show you a recipe for some really easy homemade Play-Doh. And this is made with kind of all natural ingredients you have hanging around the house, so no weird chemicals in it. It's kind of safe for your little ones to eat if they're, take a bite of it as they're playing with it. And it's really, really easy. So this is a recipe I found on Pinterest, and I've tried probably 3 or 4 different homemade Play-Doh recipes, and they're always really sticky. And this one I found isn't sticky at all. It has a really nice, squishy, soft consistency, and it stays for a really long time. You can put it in a Rubbermaid container and it'll last a week or 2 before it starts to get kind of funky on you. So we're going to start with the ingredients that we have here in front of us. So we have flour, we have vegetable oil, we've got salt, and we've got cream of tartar. And my tip for cream of tartar, as you can see, I buy it in bulk. Because it's so much cheaper than buying one of those little containers. It's $5 at the store. And some food coloring for your colors. Okay, so here are your measurements. You are going to do 1 cup, my measuring cup, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of water. You're going to do 1/4 cup of salt, any kind of table salt will work, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. And you're going to put everything into a saucepan like this one my son wants to stir. And then we're going to put it on the stove, and this is on a medium heat. And we're just going to cook it over medium heat as we stir it. And what you'll see happen, I'm actually going to just keep the camera running so you can see how this starts to form. So you're going to have a thick, almost like a thick pancake batter to start with. And then as you cook it, it will start to solidify and come together in a ball of dough. This is a great thing for your kiddos to help with if they're old enough to stand with you at the stove and help stir. In my case, my son just likes to play on the counter with the flour because he's not quite old enough to come near the hot stove. So you'll see here it's starting to thicken up a bit. This is a great recipe because it only takes a few minutes to make. And of all of the homemade Play-Doh recipes, this one is definitely my favorite. Works really, really super well. It's a nice, bright, white color to start with, so it takes color really well. I'm just going to keep stirring here. Now, I've read some variations of this that say you can use Kool-Aid powder for the color instead of food coloring, or you can use, a lot of people use natural food colorings made from vegetables, so they'll boil vegetables or add vegetables to it. I don't like to do that just because it gives it more of a food flavor, and although everything in this is natural and kind of non-toxic, I still don't want my son eating it by the mouthful. I think if it smells and tastes like Kool-Aid, he's going to really think he's supposed to eat it. So you'll see now it's starting to really stick together and thicken up. So I'm going to just keep stirring it, again, over medium heat in a saucepan like this. This makes a really good amount, too, that you can divvy up into multiple colors. Okay, I'm going to keep stirring. I need both hands to do that, so I will come back in a second and show you what it looks like after a few minutes. Okay, well, I've been stirring my dough for about 2 more minutes, and you'll see it's all starting to stick and come together as one big ball. And when it starts to come together as one big ball and pull away from the pan, that's when you know it's ready. So what you want to do is turn off your heat, and you just want to rest this on the countertop and let it cool a bit before you add your colors. And the best thing I found to do is just lay down a piece of wax paper on the counter, and you can throw out the entire ball of dough right here. It came flying out here onto your wax paper, and it's a bit hot. And I like to flatten it out a bit just because it'll cool a little faster if it's not in a great big ball. So you just want to flatten it out a bit, and we're going to let it cool here on the counter for about 10 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and show you how we add our color. Okay, I've let my Play-Doh cool for about 10 minutes or so. Just enough time to kind of clean up the kitchen from your first step. And what you want to do now is divide it into however many balls you want to make colors. I like to do primary colors, just red, yellow, and blue, because I like to mix the colors for my son. So if he wants green, I like to teach him about mixing colors and mixing yellow and blue to make green. So I think it works really well. These colors mix together really well. Thank you, sweetheart. So we've got 3 balls of about equal size. And I'm going to start with the blue one. So I'm going to smash this and make kind of a divot here in the middle where I'm going to add my food coloring. And this is just to kind of contain the mess. And then I'm going to add my food coloring. I'm going to add about 10 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That seems like a lot, but it's really just a tiny bit of food coloring and it makes a nice vibrant color. And then I start kneading it in towards the center. Trying to get as little as possible on my fingers, but it doesn't always work well. When you make Play-Doh, you pretty much have to live with the fact that you're going to probably have colors on you. And then you just start squishing it together and mixing it together. Now this is certainly a job you can give to your little ones if they're a little bit older and you don't mind them getting their fingers stained. But I like to mix it up for my son. So this is kind of the fun part. You just mix it and squish it, and you'll see because you start with such a nice bright white, it takes color really well. So I'm just going to keep mixing this until I have my blue, and then I'm going to do the same for yellow and for red, and then I will come back and show you when all of my colors are finished. Okay, and here are my 3 finished colors. I have my yellow, my blue, my red. You'll see my hands are nice and lovely rainbow stained from the food coloring. You can adjust the food coloring if you want a little bit more of pastel colors. You can use a couple drops less. If you want them to be bright or more vibrant, you can certainly add more. I think I added about 15 drops to get this shade of red, and the same with the yellow. But like I said, these are really great for teaching kids about color mixing. So you can mix, your red and your blue and make a nice shade of purple. You can mix your yellow and your blue and make green. You can mix your yellow and your red and make orange. And these are super soft, not at all sticky. You see, it's not sticking to my hands. It's really moldable. And you know every ingredient that's in it. There's no weird chemicals. If your little one decides to take a bite, well, you'll just have some colorful stuff coming out on the other side. So there you go. That's homemade Play-Doh. Hope you guys have a lot of fun playing with colors and learning and making beautiful art with this Play-Doh. And please feel free to leave me any comments and let me know what kind of fun things you make with your Play-Doh. Have fun!